Hey there cool cats, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Malaya. Welcome if you are new here, and today I thought I would talk about a subject that holds very near and dear to my heart, and that is sustainability. So today I thought I would present to you guys some really cool, sustainable, and upcycled brands and designers that are really part of the change that is trying to challenge the waste culture that is heavily promoted by the fashion industry. So with that being said, let's get into the video. The first brand that I want to talk about is actually a brand that I discovered off of Instagram, and it is called Yvonn and Mitchell. This is owned by a couple duo by the names of Kaylin Yvonne Willis and Jared Mitchell Armstrong. These two really didn't have a formal background in fashion, and the pair actually met in college, with Kaylin studying journalism and Jared in health sciences. But after Jared learned how to sew, the two would go on to create their fashion label, with Kaylin acting as CEO. These two are fully immersed and involved within the process of their fashion label, with them being completely in charge of sourcing, production, modeling, and even photography. 100% of their clothing is used from upcycled clothing, with 99% of their shipping materials sourced from secondhand shops and recycling centers. Their ambitiousness is so admirable, with their brand mission of reducing global textile waste by building a high fashion, zero waste clothing brand company that is powered solely by sustainability and upcycled fabrics. Their designs are so unique, and something that I feel like I've never really seen before, and just goes to show the types of new silhouettes and structures that clothing can really take on. Their transformation of the garments is so amazing, and you can truly see just how passionate and dedicated they are to their craft. Next brand that I'll be talking about is called Siam Circle, and this is actually a brand that I mentioned in my previous video of summer trend predictions, and it is owned by Mariuka Corsini. She founded this brand in 2019 and has found tremendous success with it, with her pieces being featured in Big Sean's music videos, as well as celebs even sporting her looks, such as Princess Nokia and Lana Del Rey as well. She specializes in making t-shirts, corsets, sweatshirts, and pants, which are either upcycled or made out of repurposed vintage clothing. She has that experience working in the fashion industry, having worked multiple fashion internships, with even one at Tory Burch under her belt. However, after working at an advertising agency in Singapore, she witnessed an overabundance in pre-owned clothing, which led her to source these materials to later cut and resew them into quilted corsets and embroidered denim. She has stated that the collection is 100% upcycled, and that our generation has heard so much about how polluting fashion is. I couldn't just start a brand without a purpose. Overall, her pieces have an amazing variety of fabrics, and she really mix matches fabrics in a way that you don't really expect, in a very eclectic and fun way. The next brand that I want to talk about is a super interesting brand, and it is Psychic Outlaw. This was founded in 2019 by Rebecca Wright, and they are now based in Austin, Texas, where they create handmade clothing using vintage and antique textiles. Not only do they have these ready-to-wear colorful prints of various styles, but their business also has this interesting business model that I feel like I've never seen before within any type of clothing brand. They make customs for either this quilt jacket or their bandana dress, and you can actually provide your own materials if you would like to, but if not, you can choose from a wide selection of their own curated vintage textiles and quilts that are available at their disposal. They have a wide variety of pieces, from jackets, cardigans, corsets, fanny packs, and even clothes for your pets. So if you're into that type of yeehaw vibe, you should check out this place. And obviously we cannot talk about upcycling without mentioning one of the best designers, which is Nicole McGlocklin. So I feel like you guys may have seen her stuff all over Instagram, where she has been able to amass a huge following. She is more of a conceptual artist, but her pieces are amazing nonetheless, and she's known for making these really bizarre but brilliant creations. From her works, she has been able to partner up with numerous brands such as Puma, Calvin Klein, Gucci, Hermes, and so much more. She studied photography and digital art at East Stroudsburg University of Pennsylvania. Afterwards, she would soon land a job at Reebok. However, on her free time, she began experimenting with shoes and its laces and soles by gluing, stapling, and sewing these pieces together. And since then, she has been able to leave her work in 2019 and move to New York, where she would soon start her career as an independent freelancing artist and designer. She would go on to create so many amazing masterpieces, and she is just someone to really look up to and inspire to because of her creativity and her way of seeing things and putting things together in such an amazing and cool way. The next brand that I want to talk about is called VEJA, and this is actually a shoe brand. VEJA was founded in 2005 and is based in France. VEJA is really cool because not only do they create sneakers, but they really strive out for something more within their company. Been able to do this by mixing social projects, economic justice, and ecological movements well into their brand. VEJA is actually Brazilian for look, where they really strive to look beyond what the sneakers are, and they look more towards how the sneakers are made and manufactured. They are actually the first sneaker brand to actually have made a sneaker completely out of recycled plastic bottles called B-mesh. And B-mesh is pretty much a fabric that is made entirely out of recycled polyester. Not only that, but they are completely transparent about everything on their website, where they really include an extensive amount of information about things such as their deconstruction and production, their upcycling methods, and even their own set of published findings based on CO2 emissions from studies that they themselves conducted. I think overall VEJA is definitely laid an example for what brands can really follow and implement through their own codes of conduct, and how important it is to include this type of stuff in your brand. The next brand that I want to talk about is a denim brand. Redone is a great place for one-of-a-kind denim. They are a sustainable company where they collab with other brands such as Levi's to create upcycled garments and pieces. Based in LA, the brand says that they don't use chemicals and that they use water conserving processes in order to make their jeans. Though they are not completely transparent of their practices, I think one thing that I really like about this denim company is the fact that they have a resell option on their website where users can actually go ahead and sell their old jeans in order to turn them in. And I think this is a really great way to make sure that pieces are actually going to find a place where they are going to be used and not just discarded. I know that so many other brands are starting to implement this own model within their businesses. Arc'teryx has their own feature as well, where they are able to give their old pieces and essentially give them a new home as well. Last designer that I want to talk about is Justin Mensinger, and I actually discovered this guy from this show called The Hype, which if you guys are unaware of, should definitely check out. And it's basically like fashion runway but for streetwear, which is such a fresh take since it is a bunch of streetwear designers competing each other for a prize at the end. His whole brand ethos about sustainability is so awesome. I think that he stated in the show that he did work before at a thrift store and was just so surprised by how much waste was accumulated, which is what inspired him to become a designer and started using old, unused fabrics from the thrift store in order to create the style he is so known for. He has stated that he believes reusing materials is extremely valuable and really cuts down on excessive waste and energy. And not only that, but he is also a heavy advocate for mental health, having tons of messages marked on this within his pieces of work. Through his exposure on the show, he has been able to collab with so many great brands such as The Hundreds, Reebok, and Adidas. His styles give a nod to hip-hop and rap culture, with a lot of his pieces featuring rappers and artists such as Tupac, the Notorious B.I.G., and Juice WRLD. So his pieces are definitely catered for those that have an appreciation for streetwear culture. He was honestly the blueprint for the popularity of those upcycled woven blanket pieces. Alright, so that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys really want to know if the brand that you are supporting is sustainable or not, you should definitely check out the website Good On You. Essentially, you just search up any brand that you want to see and they give a rating of their sustainability impact, of whether or not they're doing good enough. They rate them based on a 5-star scale of whether or not they are as environmentally conscious as a fashion brand should be. Though their selection may be kind of limited and not every fashion brand is going to be on there, I still think this is a great opportunity if you want to know if the brand that you're supporting is sustainable or not, and if they are making a good enough effort of trying to lessen their environmental impact. So that is it. I appreciate all you for just watching and being here, and I'll see you guys the next time. Bye!